our next talk is going to be by Zhongzhe Liu, and he's going to be talking about the project that he's working with Isolde Francis on, which is enhancing energy and resource recovery from agricultural waste. Zhongzhe.
Hi, hello everyone. So let me share the screen first. Give me 1 second. I think now everyone can see the screen, right? Okay, so let's start. So good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Zhongzhe Liu, and I'm an assistant professor of engineering. And my collaborator is Dr. Isolde Francis. She's from the Department of Biology. And we are the last speakers, so hopefully you still have energy to join our presentation. So our project topic is about enhancing energy and resource recovery from agricultural waste. So this is the outline of today's presentation. So the first, I will talk about the project background, and then I'll talk about our proposed approach. And then we'll show you the research objectives and the methodology. And later we'll show you the results. And finally, I will give you a conclusion of our project. Okay, so the first part, project background. So agricultural waste problem in the United States and California. So we have lots of agricultural waste generated every year. So how to properly and sustainably handle a high volume of agricultural waste is a challenge. For example, in the United States, over 100 million tons of dry corn stover is collected, and over 1 billion tons of animal manure is produced annually. In California, we generate more than 20 billion dry tons of agricultural residues per year. And the Central Valley has the highest concentration of agricultural waste, such as orchard and vineyard pruning, crop residue, and animal manure. So what about the conventional methods for handling agricultural waste? So normally we do land disposal, like we do like a whole chart recycling. We just crush the old trees, okay, and then we use the old trees, the residue as the bedding material for the new trees. Okay, so this is for the land disposal. Another method, we just burn the agricultural waste. Okay, burning is another conventional method. And also we do some biological treatment like anaerobic digestion of cow manure, or we do aerobic treatment of some waste products. So these are the conventional methods, and they are still in operation in California. But we still have some concerns over these conventional methods. For land disposal, maybe we will have some parasite problem, like plant, which will lead to plant disease. And the biomass decomposition efficiency is not very high via land disposal. And we also have some health concerns, like if we burn the agricultural waste, we'll have lots of air pollutants. And especially in San Joaquin Valley, just a couple months ago, California Air Resource Board, they just banned the future burning of agricultural waste, okay, in this area. So we also have some health concerns. And even we can treat the agricultural waste, like we use the anaerobic digestion, this kind of process, but we still have lots of byproduct. And it's, for example, like for anaerobic digestion, the carbon conversion is only 50%. So we cannot convert all the carbon to energy. And with the carbon remaining in the byproduct, we also have lots of micropollutants, okay, in this kind of byproduct. So there will be a discharge back to the environment, sometimes as like irrigation, like water. Okay, so there will be like secondary pollution, potential second pollution problem. Okay, so we are thinking, is there technology to further stabilize agricultural waste? And also we can recover more energy and make more valuable products. So maybe pyrolysis can do that. So first I want to talk about conventional pyrolysis products. So for pyrolysis, actually this is a process which can be dated back to thousands of years ago, like in ancient Egyptian time. So pyrolysis is a thermochemical decomposition of organic material at elevated temperatures in the absence of oxygen. So high temperature, no oxygen. So for example, we take corn stover, for example, like if we pyrolyze corn stover at 800 degrees Celsius, we can get 3 products. The first product is biochar. It's the solid product. Biochar is a worldwide well-recognized soil amendment. So this is a solid product. And we also have the liquid product, it's bio-oil. And we also have another product, it's the gas product. We normally call it pyrolysis gas, or we can just call it pi gas. So in the pi gas, we have hydrogen, methane, or carbon monoxide, these energetic components. And for bio-oil and pi gas, they will be used for energy recovery. And for biochar, will be used as soil amendment, as I just mentioned. Let's just take corn stover, for example. If we pyrolyze corn stover at 800 degrees Celsius, for the mass distribution of the product, we can get 30% of biochar, 40% of bio-oil, and 30% of pi gas. As I just mentioned, we want to recover the energy from the gas product and the liquid product. For the gas product, pi gas can be easily used in conventional engines for energy recovery. But for the bio-oil, that's a problem. Even we call it oil, but the property of the oil is totally different from the gasoline and diesel, okay? It's just like crude oil. So maybe the property is worse compared to the crude oil. It's very acidic, high oxygen content, high viscosity, low heating value, and it's thermally unstable. So we are thinking, if we can find a catalyst, the catalyst can further decompose the bio-oil here, and we can convert the bio-oil to pi gas, since the gas can be easily burned in conventional engines. So if we can find a catalyst and use in the conventional pyrolysis process, we can get reduced bio-oil yield, and we can get upgraded bio, make it much cleaner. And at the same time, we can increase the pi gas production. So I propose a new process for the agricultural waste treatment. It's called auto-catalytic pyrolysis. So how this process works? So auto means the biochar from the process itself is the catalyst. So we just use a solid product from the process as the catalyst. So this means auto. So from this auto-catalytic pyrolysis process, we still get three products. So biochar, after we get a biochar, we'll recycle back to the beginning of the process as the catalyst, and we can get upgraded bio-oil product. We can also reduce the bio-oil yield. At the same time, we can get a high yield pi gas product, and also the pi gas composition will be upgraded. So this is our hypothesis based on the auto-catalytic pyrolysis, this process. Okay, so then I'll talk about research objectives and methodology. So we have two major research objectives. So the first objective is to determine the impact of biochar catalyst, the fresh biochar, before we use it as a catalyst on the product yield and property of agricultural waste pyrolysis. So we work on the mass fraction analysis, high gas composition analysis, and we will also work on the bio-oil property analysis. And on the Isolde's part, she's going to investigate the beneficial effects and plant growth promoting properties of used biochar catalyst as a soil amendment with comparison to that of fresh biochar. So she will cover many characterizations like pH, moisture retention, and root to shoot ratio. So for the agricultural waste used in our process, we collect almost all the typical agricultural waste in the Kern County. So because we're still working on the process, so I don't want to release all the detailed information at this point. But I can tell you we collect almost all types of agricultural waste in this region. So we have this product, this waste. Okay, we totally analyze. We all totally work on 7 agricultural waste. So for my part, the methodology is I use a lab scale catalytic pyrolysis system. So for this system, I have the main pyrolysis reactor. So in this reactor, I put the feedstock, the agricultural waste, and we vary the temperature from 600 degrees Celsius to 800 degrees Celsius. And in the downstream, we used as a catalytic reactor. So I also call it like a tubular reactor. So this is a downstream tubing. So in the downstream tubing, we have 3 scenarios. Okay, a little bit complicated, but I'll explain to you one by one. So the first scenario is catalytic scenario. So in the downstream, we put the biochar we made from the agricultural waste, we put here. And we also vary temperature from 600 to 800. And the catalyst to feedstock mass ratio is 1, means if I have 10 grams of the agricultural waste here, I also have 10 grams of the biochar here. And this biochar is made from the same feedstock here. And another scenario is for the control. for the comparison, it's a blank test. So in the downstream, that's nothing. That's nothing. So only, and the temperature is only 550 degrees Celsius. So this is just for comparison without any catalytic effect. And another scenario is called secondary scenario. So in the second scenario, we don't have any biochar here. Instead of using biochar, we put silica sand with the same particle size of the biochar. So we just put the inert sand here, but the temperature still here is the same as the direct temperature. But here we don't have any biochar. So the purpose of secondary scenario is to test if any temperature effect on the decomposition of the bio-oil. So this is 3 scenarios. So in the next slide, Dr. Francis, she will talk about the methodology.
Yeah, so very briefly, my part is to evaluate if the used biochar will be equally efficient in promoting plant growth and the new biochar, just the one-time used one. So how we will do this, we'll set up a tray system with cells, with potting soil, with biochar and without biochar. And then we will test alfalfa, which is a cattle feed, and lettuce, which is for human consumption. The seeds will be sown, germination will be tested, and root and shoot length, as well as fresh and dry weight. Setting up these tests right now, later also photosynthesis and soil retention will be tested.
Okay, so now I just show you the results. So on my side, I only have one diagram which includes everything. So here on the y-axis, we see the product yield. So we have 3 products, as I mentioned, from the processed product, biochar, bio-oil, and pygas. And on the x-axis, I have all different types of agricultural waste. And we have 3 scenarios. 0B means blank test. There's nothing in the downstream, and temperature only 550. And we have secondary scenario, and we have the autocatalytic pyrolysis scenario, and the mass ratio is 1. So for the agricultural waste A, for the blank test and secondary, you can see the bio-oil change. Okay, so it means temperature can reduce the bio-oil. But with the catalyst, the biochar catalyst added into the system, we can further reduce the bio-oil, and at the same time we can increase the pygas. And for the rest agricultural waste, we can see the same trend. We can further reduce the bio-oil and increase the pygas using the biochar. And for G, this agricultural waste, we can further reduce the bio-oil and increase the pygas. And M, we can reduce the bio-oil to below 10. And for P, this agricultural waste, we can reduce to 25. And here, we can reduce to almost 5. Okay, this is a very special agricultural waste. And at the same time, we can increase the pygas to over 55%. And here, the last agricultural waste W, we can also reduce the bio yield and increase the pygas yield. So not almost all the agricultural waste we used, the derived biochar is catalytic. And for the bio property, you can see the change just based on this picture. So this is the raw bio-oil without any autocatalytic effect. So this is after autocatalysis. You can see it's much cleaner, and we can reduce the bio-oil yield a lot. And in the following slides, Dr. Francis, she will cover some details regarding we compare the fresh biochar and the used biochar in the plant promoting properties.
So yeah, what we've done so far is just verifying our methodology with commercial biochar. So biochar has been proven to be plant growth promoting. So I wanted to make sure that we see that effect in our experiments that we are using. And so far I have tested it with both of the crops, and you can already visualize that there's a difference. So on the left side, it's with biochar, this is without biochar. You see the plants are bigger, they look healthier. And also definitely with the lettuce seedlings, you can see that germination is so much better with the biochar than without. You can do the next slide, please. Then we also have a significant difference that is detected when we look at root and shoot length, as well as fresh weight, which you can see here in the graphs. I'm not going to go into detail due to time constrictions, but we just measure the size of the shoot, the size of the root, then we cut and we dry. We first weigh them, and then we also weigh them when they're dried And so it's nice to see that our methods are working with the commercial biochar, and also the statistics confirm what we can see, that the plants definitely benefit with the biochar treatment. And so now we're ready to test Zhongzhe's used and fresh biochar of all the different agricultural wastes.
Okay, so finally, I'll give you a conclusion of our project. So sustainable management of agricultural waste is highly needed, and autocatalytic process can produce high yield biogas for better energy recovery. And agricultural waste-derived biochar is catalytic, and the methodology are already verified by Isolde for testing of biochar properties. And she's going to do the assays with the biochar we just made of 7 different agricultural wastes. And finally, we want to thank our research assistants, Danny and Hugo. And also we want to thank our collaborators, USDA Bakersfield office and the San Joaquin Nutrients, and also the University of California Corporation Extension County office. And also want to thank all the sponsors, CERC, Chevron, California Bioenergy, and CSUB and SME. So thank you all for your attention. That's all for today's presentation.
Thank you very much, Zhongzhe and Isolde. We now have just a bit of time for questions. Again, if you wish, you can raise your hand or type your question in the chat. John Yu has his hand up. Go ahead, John.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very interesting talk. A lot of time we go to Home Depot and then go to Lowe's, and is that those soil they sell actually mixed with this biochar material in there?
I don't think so. Yeah.
No, standard, it's not mixed into the regular potting soil, but you can buy it separately.
Oh, you can buy it separately. Oh, okay. Okay. Where can I buy it?
I do believe you can buy it in the standard stores. Yeah.
Oh.
Or you hopefully eventually be able to buy it from Zhongzhe's and lab.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Entrepreneur. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Other questions?
Hey, Tony, you're muted.
Tony, you're muted.
Sorry. Just as a follow-up to John's question, why is the biochar not used in those commercial fertilizers? Is it because of its expense? And is that because of the expense of the pyrolysis? Is that a really energy consuming process or expensive process?
In California, there are many farmers that use the biochar. So that's a big difference. If you use the biochar, especially during the sizzling summer in Southern California, if the farmer use the biochar, their land can survive. If they don't use the biochar, maybe it's hard to survive. Yeah. So the biochar is a commercialized product. It's not a very special product. Yeah. And especially the production scale is very large. The cost is very low. Yeah, we can purchase biochar in this nation. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.